Hey, good afternoon from Southern California. So, have you brought home a puppy? And one of the things that you're dealing with is potty training? Well, I'm here to share with you our top 2 tips. So, who is tuning in? If you're tuning in and watching us, let us know where you are tuning in from. And what is your pup's name? So is anyone out there? No one's there yet. So who am I? My name is Linda Kwan, and I am the owner and trainer at WowBowWow. We specialize in working with puppies, young dogs up to the age of about 2 years old. We help the pet parents understand their dog so training becomes easier. So back to our question that people have. Pet parents, they're struggling with potty training. So here are our 2 tips. Let me take this off first. Okay. So the first one is, did you know that they need to go frequently? Especially those young puppies when you bring them home about 2 months old. So their bladders, very it's not quite developed enough. So they will need to go several times a day. In fact, we recommend that you try taking them to their potty pads about every hour. So the first thing is you need to establish a schedule, a routine with you and your family to take them out when they wake up, after they eat, after some play and training, and before they go to bed, right? So throughout the day, you may literally be taking them out every hour or 2 hour. But when you do take them out, make sure you start using the cue words like, oh, let's go potty, and then saying good boy or good girl when they finish, right? So to reinforce that the behavior that they're doing at the right place is something you want them to do. So that's tip number 1. Make sure you take them out frequently to the spots you want them to go urinate or defecate in. And then, making sure you start with cue words like let's go potty and then reinforcing that when they do eliminate. Now, as I mentioned, we may be taking them out frequently and they may not go every time, and that's okay, right? So let's see here if anyone's joining us yet. Okay, so I don't see any comments yet. So when you come back and you watch this, if you happen to see this on replay, just hashtag replay and you can, let me know where you're tuning in from and what's your puppy's name. So even if you have a rescue dog, I'm going to still suggest similar like scheduling, right? So it may not be as frequent as every hour, but basically, when they get up after they eat, some time with play and training, when they've been mobile, right? Because a lot of times, even my dogs, even during our walk, when I do take them out for a walk, usually about 15 minutes in, they may need to go. So movement helps them need to go. So same with puppies. Now, after they eat, you may need to take them to the potty pad, maybe a little sooner, maybe like 10, 15 minutes after, whereas an older dog, maybe 20 to 30 minutes after. All right, so no one is joining us yet. So yeah, if you have recently gotten a puppy or have a puppy up to about, 4 to 5 or 6 months, yeah, you're going to be taking them to the pad pretty frequently. Now, what other issues are you running into with your puppy? If you want to let us know, you can DM us, text us, give me some ideas of how else I can help you with your new puppy. So in the comments, I'm going to share actually what we have is developed a handout, 9 tips that you can look at and utilize for your potty training. So I'm gonna make sure I add that to the comments below. So what's tip number 2? So remember I told you taking them out frequently? But the other mistake I see the humans do is they let their dog roam free in the house. And you know what? What happens is they start eliminating in wrong places. So if you're not taking them out frequently enough and you let them free, then you know what? They're going to just make mistakes throughout the house. And so getting that scent out, you can use those different products that are out there, but in carpet, it's very hard. It's very hard to remove that scent the dog will go back to and urinate on. So tip number 2 is setting up good management. In other words, if you bring home a dog and you don't know if they've been potty trained, and for a puppy who you're pretty sure is not potty trained, make sure you have them in a crate or a pen on the times that you cannot directly interact with them, right? So, obviously, playtime and feeding time, you can pay attention to what they're doing. But otherwise, during that training period, it's very vital to keep them in a contained area so they don't make mistakes elsewhere in the house. And then during those scheduled times, you take them to the place you want them to go potty. So back to the tip number 1. So tip number 2 is one thing I see a lot of people not understanding, which is having your dog contained in a crate or a playpen. The other option that I have suggested, but I don't recommend because I don't really see the humans doing it correctly most of the time, which is putting a harness on your pup or dog and keeping them on a leash to keep them near you. But the problem is the humans, even though the dog is near them, they're not paying attention to them. They're not looking for the signs of when the pup or dog may be like sniffing for, like that needing to go potty smelling. And so what happens is they're on their computer or on their phone or they're watching TV and they're not paying attention to the dog. And so the third, the crate or the playpen, the third option on the leash doesn't really work very well for most people, I find. So anyway, so again, these are my top 2 tips, right? First of all, getting a good routine going and taking them out frequently to the place you want them to go potty, saying, let's go potty, and basically, rewarding them, reinforcing that. And the second tip is making sure you have them contained near you, whether it's in the living room and having another playpen in the bedroom during the evening, right? Because they want to be near you. So if you can, having a couple of places for them to be in a contained area near where you are is the best way to help teach your puppy potty training. All right. Thank you for joining us for our Training Tip Tuesday. I will see you all again this Saturday on our group field trip. All right. Have a good afternoon.